Are live. Welcome to the Next News Network. It's a late night here in the studio. Oh, yes. We've been working all day, sorting out things in the studio, getting the news organized. And yes, we're back on YouTube. So welcome back to our YouTube viewers. We got a lot of news we're going to get at today. We're going to start with our White House rundown. We've got some news selected for the evening. We have news on the SAVE Act. We also have news on Iran, as well as stuff about Mitch McConnell. The question is still hanging over Washington like a ghost. So we're going to get into all that right now. But first, your White House rundown. Good evening. I'm Gary Franchi, Next News Network Chief White House Correspondent, delivering the latest White House news from the past 24 hours here and across our streaming partner Trump Daily Posts. President Trump set the tone with high-pressure diplomacy on Iran today, pairing a pause on major strikes with what he called Tehran's last chance, while the White House also put military families front and center, highlighted fresh manufacturing strength, underscored border security wins, and kept the midterm endorsement machine running at full speed. And now let's get into the full rundown. According to the daily guidance, President Trump returned to Washington from Bedminster and began Monday at the White House with executive time at 8 a.m., followed by a noon Oval Office policy meeting at 1:30, an executive order signing, and additional closed policy meetings at 3, 4:30, and 5:30 p.m. The only public event on the formal schedule was the Oval Office signing. At 12:02, the White House called a lunch lid until 1 p.m., a routine pause before the day's public event. Then at 1:30, the in-town pool gathered for the president's executive order signing in the Oval Office. The White House flagged the order as the creation of a new presidential commission focused on military spouses and families, tying support for those families directly to military readiness. At 1:43 p.m. today, the pool entered the Oval Office to find President Trump at the Resolute desk with Secretary Pete Hegseth, Jennifer Hegseth, General Dan Kane, and 18 military wives. President Trump opened by saying that the war in Iran was progressing well before turning the focus to the new commission. At 1:57 p.m., he signed the executive order establishing the President's Military Spouse Commission and handed it to Jennifer Hegseth, who will chair the effort. Minutes later, President Trump took questions from the press in a wide-ranging Oval Office session that ran from 1:57 until 2:39 p.m. He spoke about Iran. He said talks were ongoing and called them a last chance while making clear that American force remained ready if diplomacy failed. He also took questions on immigration, the Save America Act, oil prices, Todd Blanche, Max Miller, Major League Baseball, the Reflecting Pool, and Jeanine Pirro. In the quoted follow-up from the same Q&A, the president said the United States has total control over the Strait of Hormuz and pointed to a possible blockade until a deal is reached. He blasted Iran's mixed signals, kept pressure on Tehran, and reinforced the administration's message that strength and diplomacy are moving together, not apart. The pool account also placed key aides and officials in the room, including General Kane, Stephen Miller, Natalie Harp, Dan Scavino, Will Scharf, and Commission Executive Director Desiree Sale. And by 6:46 p.m., the White House had called a full lid for the day, closing out a lighter in-town schedule built around the signing and the president's Iran messaging. Looking ahead, the next daily guidance says President Trump is back on the public schedule Tuesday with a Rose Garden greeting for the Penn State Nittany Lions wrestling champions, a noon policy meeting, a 1 p.m. swearing in for the Director of National Intelligence, and evening travel to Los Angeles for an RNC roundtable and reception before continuing on to Las Vegas. Wednesday's schedule includes remarks at the Red Rock Casino Resort and Spa before the president returns to the White House. In the text of today's executive order, the president formally established the President's Military Spouse Commission to deliver recommendations on housing, employment, healthcare, education, deployment-related support, and other quality of life issues affecting military spouses and families. The Department of War will fund and support the commission which will issue annual reports and build on earlier Trump efforts to improve life for military families in ways that strengthen readiness and retention. And in one of the administration's top domestic messages today, the White House said that U.S. factories expanded in July at the fastest pace in more than 4 years. The release pointed to a 7th straight month of manufacturing growth, the biggest July jump in the ISM Production Index since 1951. 4.2% year-over-year wage growth, 83,000 factory construction jobs added since President Trump took office, and 18,000 manufacturing jobs created in 2026 alone. So taken together, the past 24 hours show a White House pushing on several fronts at once. Maximum pressure diplomacy abroad, direct support for military families at home, an economic message built on factory growth and rising wages, a secured border that the administration keeps touting as a signature result, and an active political operation, with President Trump continuing to back America First candidates. And that's the latest from the White House. And now let's move from Pennsylvania Avenue to the rest of tonight's top stories, and let's welcome you to the show. I'm still getting used to my new buttons here. Where did I put you guys? There's the chat. Okay, there's our chat button. All right, let's see who's in the house. Good to see everybody here. What do you think? We got some new graphics lined up. This is all new, and we're even streaming vertically right now, simulcasting. We're actually on Facebook, Twitch, X at Next News, X Trump Daily Post, Rumble, and YouTube. And we're simulcasting to YouTube in both horizontal and vertical formats, which is actually a new option for you guys watching on YouTube. So if you're on a mobile device and you prefer to watch and hold it in your hand and on your phone, or watch it on a television, you can have your choice. So the comments are coming in. Good to see you guys. Also, we just did launch some housekeeping notes here. We launched the new Signal Core over the weekend. There's a video on our channel homepage that explains what that Signal Core is. And do you hashtag what's up? Thank you, $10. Thank you for that. Lost my train of thought there. So check out the video about the Signal Core, and I'm pleased to announce that there's over 100 people who've already signed up for that. It's really exciting to see the activity of people connecting. And of course, we also opened up, only for members of the Signal Core, we opened up a very special Discord room just for that group. So you can post your stats, you can post your actions, and you can have exclusive discussions with individuals who are members of the Signal Core. There is no purchase necessary, and traditionally, if you became a member of the YouTube channel, you would have access to the full Discord channel. However, with respect to if you just simply join the Signal Core, you have access to that specific room. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in that chat room. That's where you can have active real-time conversations and discuss all the mission briefings and the activities that are going on. And of course, I'll be there. I'll be monitoring. You can ask me questions too. So, okay, so we've got lots going on. We started a new we have a new camera angle here. We're trying to get everything lined up. So, but first we're going to get into this story about Mitch McConnell. New questions are being raised about who's actually signing these orders. Everyone thinks the guy's dead. Let's just be honest. Everyone thinks he's dead, and there's certain clocks that are ticking that we need to get this news out before that deadline runs out. So I'm going to shut up and we're going to get at it. Morgue questions are surfacing while Mitch McConnell ghosts Kentucky. If he dies by midnight, state law triggers a special election. Yet on that exact deadline, the Senate swamp still refuses to produce a living, functioning senator. Stephanie Penn smiles for the camera Representative Capito hides behind an unnamed visitor, and the ghost office expects you to swallow the insult quietly. And the story hits one nerve: representation. Mitch McConnell vanished from the Senate after June 14th, and Kentuckians missed more than 46 roll call votes while McConnell's machine kept the office running through whispers, staged optics, and paid handlers. Now, if you didn't know this, Stephanie Penn pockets $214,000 a year and still wouldn't answer whether staff should keep cashing taxpayer checks while Kentucky loses its voice. And that is not self-government. That is unelected rule by cartel, timed around an August 3rd midnight deadline. The rhino class can't afford to lose. So new pressure is building, though, in the Medicare market as plan costs shift again, and consumer advocates warn millions of seniors overpaying still do not know it. Big insurance profits from confusion through mailers, robocalls, fine print that leave people locked into ill-fitting plans. Chapter calls itself a newsroom for your Medicare. Independent Medicare advisors, the only Medicare advisors who compare every plan nationwide. They review doctors and prescriptions, complete a whole file review, and report back the truth on coverage and cost, not insurer talking points or ghost office evasions. If you already have the right fit, Chapter provides best plan verification. If not, they help you switch. It takes one call under 20 minutes and costs you nothing. For information on Chapter and Medicare plan help, call 910-728-4109 in a segment about hidden facts that independent review matters. Now, there's one detail the cartel can't spin away. Elaine Chao posed with a supposedly spry McConnell on July 12th and spent weeks in China meeting a CCP vice president. Well, Kentucky got blackout silence, and that's where the smell turns rancid. So what do we have here? This week, this is the truth. This week we'll be told that Mitch McConnell, Mike Engelman writes this is great. We'll be told that Mitch McConnell, who hasn't been seen or heard from in 50 days, has suddenly passed now that Kentucky's special election deadline has passed. So that captures the question a lot of Kentuckians are asking. Where is Mitch McConnell? Now watch what happens when Senator Shelley Moore Capito is pressed to name who supposedly visited him in the hospital and declared him clear-minded.
Senator, you were saying that you know someone who visited McConnell in the hospital. Can you reveal who visited him and what they thought about his condition? Hey, Senator. I just was going to ask you who the person you were saying visited McConnell in the hospital and said he was clear-minded. Would you be able to reveal who it was? All right, thank you, Senator. Take care.
Obviously, the public information that I have is that Senator McConnell is recovering and is healing and is in a rehabilitation hospital. That's what's been reported. I talked with somebody yesterday who visited him and said that he's clear-minded and he just needs to get stronger.
Do you plan to visit him?
You know, I might wait until he asks, for visitors. I think, anybody who's been in the hospital or in a rehab facility being visited, I think is a pretty sensitive topic. So what do you think?
So she says an unnamed visitor found McConnell clear-minded, but she won't give the public a name or anything concrete. Next, Desiree Townsend lays out the timeline from outside the hospital and asks why this rehab story keeps dragging on.
Desiree Townsend, here again, outside of George Washington University Hospital for the continued medical miracle that is Senator Mitch McConnell. It is now day 51 of his hospitalization. So you all have to keep in mind that back on July 12th, they released a photo. His office released a photo of a really spry looking Mitch McConnell sitting in a rehabilitation unit. It's now going into 4 weeks. Why in the world is he still in rehabilitation for 4 weeks? And a lot of those of you in my previous video in the comments are also saying this is not aligning with any sort of insurance policy one could have, presumably Medicare with some sort of supplemental that would be paying for 4 weeks of him to sit up in a chair looking refreshed and spry and happy, unless those photos don't accurately depict his current state. So I'll keep coming here. I'm going to be here again tomorrow. We'll see if we hear anything on this, the alleged August 3rd date that's sort of floating around social media. I don't believe, again, that this date is the end-all, be-all for a special election. Again, the two statutes, KRS 118.375 and House Bill 622 in Kentucky, can easily be reconciled by a judge in a Kentucky court. So that is a nothing burger to me. On a separate and more personal note, as many of you have heard, I lost my sister. I believe it was July 20th. We're not exactly sure. We do know she mailed out a letter on July 20th. We think that's when she took her life. But what I'd like to ask all of you, you may have seen all these influencers online, micro-influencers, basically bullying me and bullying me for my sister's death as well.
It's an unfortunate story to hear that when people make those kinds of decisions. But you've got the day count, the hospital backdrop, and more holes than answers in the official story. Now Townsend takes those same questions straight to McConnell's communications director and asks whether staffers should be collecting checks while Kentucky goes unrepresented.
What's going on with Senator McConnell? We haven't had any updates. Is he doing better? Do you by happen to know if he, or can you tell us, did he sign that July 28th letter, or was that an auto pen from your office? I know people in Kentucky are getting frustrated that they have missed over 46 roll call votes, so anything you can provide us on his current status, I think, would be greatly appreciated. Do you think it's fair that your office and the other staffers are still getting paid while Kentuckians go without representation? No comment to any of this? All right, thank you.
It's just dead silent. Dead silence. Unbelievable. So she had every chance to clear it up. All viewers got was a smile. Next, Kentucky Voice puts a salary number on that silence and shows exactly how much McConnell's communications chief is making. Mitch McConnell's communications director, Stephanie Penn, that woman you just saw, $214,000 a year. Graduated from University of Louisville, 2009, with a BS in marketing. Yeah, she definitely knows how to BS. She has worked for McConnell since 2009. All staff getting paid while Kentuckians are without a full Senate representation for 50 days. And yes, she makes more money than Mitch McConnell. So while Kentucky misses votes and communications shop is still getting paid, the focus shifts to who may be really running the office as a new clip zeroes in on the Chief of Staff, Terry Carmack, and Tim Burchett's warning about staffers who are blocking the Save America Act.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett. I saw where Mitch McConnell was blocking the SAVE Act this morning. I think it's partially just out of meanness. He doesn't like Trump, and Trump got him in office. Sadly enough, he helped him in that last race extensively. And that's one thing I value in this game is loyalty, and apparently he doesn't. But he's blocking the SAVE Act. Or is he? Is it him or a staff member? Because, as you know, he's a lot like Joe Biden was in his last few days in office, or last years in office, last 4 years really. His cognizant level is diminishing daily. You know, I've always remembered we had a chairman of a committee, and I asked in committee. In our conference meeting, I asked if how much money was in this bill, and she responded, "I don't know. Next question." And I said, "No. How much money is in this dadgum bill?" And his immediately staffers were like, "You can't be asking that. You can't be asking that." Well, dadgummit, you know, this thing ain't supposed to be some retirement village. It's supposed to be the United States Congress and the Senate. But here's what it's turned into. And it is wrong. You've got staffers that are running this thing. The lady that I asked those questions of, it turns out for over 6 weeks, she never showed up and nobody knew where she was. But her staff kept running the office, and she was in a retirement village for people that were in cognizant decline, to put it lightly. And that's what's going on in Washington. You've got these staffers, again, that are too close to the lobbyists, too close to whatever, and they're running the show. And it needs to stop. I've called it out. I've called it out to our leadership, and they do nothing about it. But this is where we're at. The SAVE Act is stopped because Mitch McConnell. And he's got a staffer that's running his show, not him. So anyway, it's a pitiful state. You need to get a hold of our leadership and let them know this cannot continue. Cannot continue. Thank y'all for sending me here.
I love that guy. That guy has got class. He's honest. He's real. He has revealed exactly what the real problem in Washington is. So staffers are steering in the office while McConnell stays out of sight. It's not representation. That is swamp management next. Kylie Kremer ties it to the August 3rd deadline and says the Rhinos had every reason to keep this ghost office running. If Mitch McConnell dies before August 3rd, Kentucky law would trigger a special election for his Senate seat. The Rhinos in power can't afford for that to happen, which is why this whole situation feels like Weekend at Bernie's. Weeks have gone by with virtually no meaningful update on the condition of a sitting U.S. Senator. The lack of transparency has been outrageous and has left people wondering whether he's been kept alive on life support or whether the full truth simply isn't being told. Has he already passed? Then there's Elaine Chao, McConnell's wife, traveling to China to meet with a CCP leader just days after McConnell was hospitalized. Maybe there's an explanation, but the timing is undeniably odd. Would you leave your husband to travel to China if he is so ill in the hospital for over 20 days? I sure wouldn't. Something about this entire situation doesn't add up. The American people deserve answers. And that's exactly what we deserve. So we covered McConnell's ghost office on July 24th. And this batch blows it wide open. The machine still has not produced a clean public video, a direct statement, or a straight medical accounting. Instead, Kentuckians got a July 12th rehab photo, an anonymous reassurance from Shelley Moore Capito, and Stephanie Penn grinning while the office keeps drawing salaries, and Elaine Chao's China trip right in the middle of the blackout. And the arrogance just gets grotesque. If Mitch McConnell's alive and functioning, put him on camera today. If he's incapacitated, say it today. And if Terry Carmack, Stephanie Penn, or any other unelected operative exercise Senate authority in his name, the Senate needs a full public reckoning. Put that demand in the comments, blast this segment out, and force this cartel to answer before the bedline buries the trail. So, in that August 3rd, the August 3rd, where did it go? Really? Oh my goodness. Okay. You'll have to edit. What? Really? Oh my God. Thank you for watching that report. If you want our evening White House dispatch, type White House into your phone and text it to 844-840-4963. And if you want to join the Signal Corps, that is our new active dispatch organization for just an elite class of viewers, and you're tired of just sitting around doing nothing, this is the group for you. So you can just simply text Signal to that same number on the screen and take action today. Okay, well, Brian, I don't know what's going on here. So something is totally wrong each prompter is totally off sync. And like, well, refresh them. Well, I don't. Well, I didn't get to finish my point. Can I finish speaking, please? Thank you. The call to action was not appended to the main prompter, but it was on the cloned prompter. Well, when I split the close with the CTA, maybe the teleprompter, I don't know, maybe since you refreshed it, it's there now at the end of this. I'm checking. Yeah, it's not in. Yeah. It's not showing up. The CTA is showing up on the clone, but it's not showing up on the main prompter. That is bizarre. Well, no. Listen, I'm just letting you know I can't get up and make code changes right now. So either we cancel the show or we try to fix it. Fix it live. We'll do it live. So I think you just need to go into the code base and say, hey, why is the clone showing the CTA and the mains not showing the CTA for the teleprompter? And it should probably fix itself. All right. All right. Guys, yeah, we'll be right back. let's go to this one. Technical difficulties here at the Next News Network tonight. We're doing our best. You know, it's always something, right? You add some new toys to the set, some new technology, and, well, you try to change things up a little bit. You do it live. And this is what you get. So, you know, I had some news here prepared, and we're going to have to get to it tomorrow. I hate to break it to you, but we are going to have to cancel the rest of the show tonight. So we can sort out some of these technical difficulties. With that being said, my sincere apologies to you guys. This is not how I wanted to come out the gate, especially after our 5-day boycott on YouTube. So, anyway, we will have that McConnell video out hopefully before midnight, before the deadline, right? Maybe we'll find out that McConnell's dead tomorrow. What's live? Oh, the McConnell video is already out? Do you hashtag $10? Gary, I need a few Chicago dogs. Oh, yeah. Chicago-style pizza delivered via drone. Wouldn't that be nice? Oh, wait. We may have a solution, guys. We may... Wait. We might be able to pull this off. We might be able to pull this off. All right, wait. Brian may have fixed it. We're going to find out. Let's see. Is it there? There it is. Hey, we don't have to cancel the show. All right. What do you know? That's a big fake out, guys. Big fake out. Okay, so good news. We can proceed to our next report. Okay. Yes, Gary, who is the single singing that music? Oh, well, we made that. We made that. We made that with artificial intelligence. All right. Let's see if this camera's locked in yet. Is it locked in? Yeah, it's locked in. All right. Okay, so let's, we are still recording. We're still live. Why are you blinking at me, camera? Stop blinking. Are you tracking me? I think if I move here, yeah, you're still tracking me. Okay, good. Brian, I'm sorry to bother you, but one last time, if you could just jump into the laptop and make the prompter, the clone prompter. I think you have the browser. I can see all the browser things going on up there. This is one of those nights where you just need a double shot of bourbon. But we're not playing that game anymore, guys. Franchi is getting in shape. We have a war. Oh, what? Really? You're gonna focus on Trump now? That's not how we play this game. Come back to me. Stay on me. Don't. Bad camera. Bad camera. I don't know what do I. It just keeps freaking out. This camera is just blink, 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 blue, 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 green, green, green. Are you still tracking me? I don't even know if it's, dude, everything's just freaking out today. Okay, Brian, I'm going to start this segment, so say a prayer for me. It's 11:55 p.m. Eastern right now. Okay. All right, let's go. Yeah. I'm leaning and it's cutting me out. It's not tracking me fast enough. Do I need to put the tracking speed on faster? Okay, neither do I. I don't know either. Let's just make the news. Okay. I'll try. I got one monitor over here, and when I'm looking here, I can't see what's going on over there. But I can see I can see the monitor down here. So hopefully, it's just, you know, I only have so many eyes. It's not tracking me. Is it? It is tracking me. I think it just needs to be turned. I think this tracking speed needs to be turned up. Okay, let's begin this segment, please. Thank you. Hopefully we'll not have to. Zoran Mamdani wants New Yorkers checked with a library card for discount groceries, but Democrats howl that providing who you are, God, you know what? Can we start this over? I'm just totally, like, trying to get my freaking brain on. All right, let's try that again. Zoran Mamdani wants New Yorkers checked with a library card for discount groceries, but Democrats howl that proving who you are before a federal election is racist. And that one detail blows the whole scam sky high. And Chris Van Hollen just blurted the confession on camera. Now, this fight sits on one sacred nerve, whether American citizens still control American elections. Chris Van Hollen said flat out, "We will block the passage of the Save America Act," while the clock screams just 92 days until the 2026 midterms. That's not a policy dispute. That is a protection racket for the Democrat vote harvest machine, backed by Senate cowards who want recess more than they want a republic. And with Van Hollen vowing to block election security 92 days before the midterms, it's not crazy to harden your own position too before Election Day. Control of Congress is on the line. Financial markets hate uncertainty, and uncertainty breeds volatility. We're heading into a volatile stock market stretch, so protect what you've built with physical gold and silver. Noble Gold Investments has, for over a decade, helped everyday Americans protect their wealth with precious metals in a way that stays simple, easy, and safe. If you want to hedge the volatility before Election Day, go to nextnewsgold.com or call Noble Gold at 877-646-5347. Mention my name, and when you open a new qualified account, you can get a free 10-ounce silver bar. Their 10-ounce silver bar, that's right, is on your screen. And the swamp loves chaos, but you don't have to. And here's the detail that should make every honest voter furious. In Tim Walz, Minnesota, one registered voter can vouch for up to 8 unregistered people with no proof of residency. So keep that number in your head, because it turns the whole Senate recess scam into a national insult. We have this. It's not just ironic, it's hypocritical. Mamdani is going to require an ID check for his grocery stores, but thinks it's racist to require one for federal elections.
How are you going to keep people from taking advantage of that, that deal, basically? And is there going to be a limit on the number of items that someone can take that are discounted at that level from that essential basket?
So our RFP makes very clear that this is a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. I'm going to pass it over to our EDC head, Jeannie Pack, to add some additional details.
Yes, if you look at our RFP for the operator, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing, and also we manage who's buying, and that is focused on everyday New Yorkers. So we are mindful of that, and so we're going to make sure that we have all the things in place to ensure that that does not happen.
Wow. So a library card, yeah, or some proof of New York residency. That's what they're asking. In New York, but of course it's racist if you want to ask for an ID to vote. Elon Musk says the irony is just too rich. So Let's get this straight. Mondami wants to track who buys groceries, but Democrats still call voter ID racist. Now, Rick Scott says enough talk, no recess until the Save America Act gets a vote.
Judge blocked the DOJ from accessing New Jersey's unredacted voter rolls on Wednesday after thousands of non-citizens were registered to vote in the state. This, of course, comes as President Trump calls for the Senate to cancel its August recess until the Save America Act is passed and is urging Leader Thune to scrap that filibuster. Senator, we've talked about this so often on this show, and so many Americans are so frustrated that even after the news out of New Jersey, and I'm sure many other states, we still can't get just even bare minimum voter ID, proof of citizenship. Where are we honestly and transparently when it comes to the Save America Act? Please be honest with our audience. Is there a chance that this is going to happen?
Well, we ought to be voting on it every week, and even if we can't get the whole thing passed, vote on parts of it. And I believe we ought to force people to talk. That's how the filibuster is supposed to work. And then when people are done talking, you vote. It only takes 50 votes. But that's not where we are. What we can do this week is we're going to have hopefully a reconciliation vote this week, which will get as much in the Save America Act in the reconciliation vote, which only takes Republican votes, and get that started this week. It won't be finished this week. Ron Johnson, the chair of the Budget Committee, and hopefully that's what we'll be doing all day Wednesday and all night Wednesday night to get everything we can in the Save America Act passed inside reconciliation, and then work with the White House to see what else they can do from an administrative standpoint. I think we ought to stay up here to get things done. I'm a business guy. I work 7 days a week. We're working 2.5 days a week. We're barely up here. We need to stick around and get stuff done.
Yes, they do. He's not just demanding action. He says the Senate should stay put and work. And now we've got a list of 18 senators he calls patriots who say they'll do exactly that. Representative Keith Self. Update now, 18 Senate patriots have stepped up. They've pledged to work through recess to pass the Save America Act. Mike Lee, Rick Scott, Tuberville, Banks, Moody, Darlene, Graham, Haggerty, Britt, Young, Blackburn, Schmidt, McCormick, Marshall, Risch, Cruz, Crapo, Husted, and Lankford. That's the list right there. Those guys are willing to work. So the block is growing. The pressure is getting personal. Next up, we have this from Trump Daily Post. It's 92 days until the 2026 U.S. midterms. Cancel the Senate vacation. Pass the Save America Act. No excuses. Do your job. And they tag Thune, Murkowski, Collins, Tillis, and Senator McConnell or staff. Exactly. Who basically, yeah, McConnell's not checking his X account right now. All right. He's probably in a top secret morgue. With Trump with Trump Daily Post calling out names and putting the Senate on notice, White House is echoing the same demand. Here's President Trump from earlier today in the Oval Office.
There's nothing more important than the Save America Act. I think they should stay. They do what they want, but I think they should stay. I think it's so important to get it passed. Yeah.
It is important. So the marching orders are clear from the top. Stay in town and get it done, but Democrats aren't hiding the game. Chris Van Hollen flat out says they plan to block it.
Well, let's be very clear. The reason that Donald Trump is insisting that the Senate pass what they call the Save America Act is to try to rig the midterm elections. And the reason for that is that what the SAFE Act does is require certain kinds of ID. So, for example, passports and birth certificates. The effect of that, Dean, is to prevent millions of American citizens who may not have that form of ID from voting. And it's their calculation that it will essentially put up barriers to mostly Democratic voters more than Republican voters, although it will hurt voters across the board. That is obviously their assessment. And we will block the passage of the SAFE Act.
We will block the passage of the SAVE Act. So he says Democrats will block it, even with non-citizen registration alarms flashing. And if you want to know why Republicans say the system is wide open, look at Minnesota's vouching rules under Tim Walz. Rapid response posting in Tim's Minnesota. a registered voter can literally go to the polling place and vouch for up to 8 unregistered people who can then vote without proving residency, no questions asked. And they link to this video of Tampon Tim.
Hey everyone, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz here. Just completed my mail-in ballot for the August 11th primary here in Minnesota. Encourage people, get your ballots in. You have until the 11th to get it in. Of course, you can go vote in person now. Early voting in person has started. And of course, you can vote on Election Day. We want everybody to get out there, cast your ballots. I will say mail-in voting and all voting in Minnesota is secure. It's safe, and we vote at higher numbers than anybody else. In fact, mail-in voting is so secure, the President of the United States himself uses it. So I'd encourage you, if you want to do this, it's going to be easy. I'm going to get this in the mail and exercise my my right and my responsibility to vote. So go get her done, Minnesota.
Did you catch what he said there? He said, we actually get more mail-in votes. Yeah, I wonder how that happens. When they print the ballots in China, ship them over, right? And they put them in the mailbox for you. Yeah, that's how you get those votes, buddy. We all know the tricks. We know the tricks. Okay, so that's the concern in plain English when voter vouching in a chain with no proof. Shifting overseas, the next clip shows why many on the right say the left playbook is the same everywhere else. Nick Shirley, if you know what happened in Spain recently, speaks with a Spain citizen who confirms illegal migrants are being imported for votes. Polls came out showing their Liberal Prime Minister was going to lose the upcoming election to a Conservative candidate right after the migrants flooded in. Check this out. Nick Shirley on the case again.
I think your politicians are allowing this to happen.
If they allow this to become the third world, they know, people in power, they know that they will be able to do whatever they want. They will increase their power because a ruler in the third world is a real ruler.
And so you're saying in a first world country where there's order, that way the politicians can't take that much power.
Yeah.
Because there's order.
The thing here is that people in power know that if they become this the third world, they will increase their power and their money even more. That's the thing, because they can control the society in an easier way. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you keep this full of third worlders, you can do whatever you want if you are in power.
And your prime minister right now, according to Polymarket, he has the second best odds of becoming the prime minister again, but his odds are very low on Polymarket. But your prime minister just created a way for over 500,000 migrants to get legal status here inside of Spain. Do you think your Prime Minister Sanchez is trying to up his odds and his probability of becoming the Prime Minister once again by importing all these migrants?
Yeah, because he knows that he has a strategy, a very clear strategy. He gets the money from the taxes, from the working people in Spain, and he gives away some help to these migrants, and then he easily can get boats. He's basically buying boats. Basically buying boats. That's all about that. It's all about power and money. People in church only want to have more power and more money. And the easiest way to do it is to fill this country with third worlders.
So right now,
that's exactly what's happening in the United States with Joe Biden, last administration. So we have this from Truth Daily Post. If someone actually votes Democrat, they're either an enemy of America or they have a serious mental issue. So Zohran Mamdani, his groceries, the IDs, the scheme, Chris Van Hollen's vow to block voter ID expose the same rotten creed. Track the citizen buying bread, but never verify the ballot that runs the country. Chris Van Hollen is not defending democracy. He's guarding the Democrat cheat code. See, President Trump drew the line exactly where it belongs when he said there is nothing more important than the Save America Act. And the Senate should stay until it passes. Rick Scott backed it. 18 Senate patriots stepped up. Good. Now, where are John Thune, Murkowski, Susan Collins, Tom Tillis, and Mitch McConnell? If one voter in Minnesota can vouch for 8 unregistered people, if New Jersey fights to hide unredacted voter rolls from the DOJ, and if Chris Van Hollen boasts that he'll block the fix, then any Republican hiding behind procedure is siding with the steal. Hit the comments with the name of the senator who needs the most pressure and send this segment to one person still pretending secure elections are controversial. So Mondami's library card election logic is exactly the kind of insanity our inside channel catches before the censors can smother it. So text White House to 844-840-4963. Next News Network is credentialed inside the White House. Reports pulled straight from the building hit your phone nightly ahead of the pack and pass whatever YouTube buries. And if reading the corruption is not enough for you, well then just text Signal to that same number and enlist in the Next News Signal Corps. A citizens' comms grid with real missions, real ranks, and a command center built for people who plan to fight back. Oh, oh man, we lost the camera, and then it found me again. Oh my Lord! So what happened? I turned sideways, and it just like went AWOL. Shame on you, camera. Okay, we're working through it, guys. We're doing our best here tonight. You want me to go to the chat? What chat? What chat would you like me to go to? Oh, you would like me to go to the chat room. Where is that? I need to rename the. I need to rename these buttons because I don't know what I'm looking at here, and I'm like, what does it say? What is the little picture showing me? And that camera is just going off the rails. I hope we can survive this next segment. Yeah. Well, let's see what happens now. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Okay, so come back to me. All right. This is crazy. All right. Well, we'll try. I'm a gambling man tonight, Brian. Okay. Let's see if we can get through this one without anything going haywire. Excuse me. All right. This is the last one, so we'll see what we can do. And this, all right, enough. I'm not going to say anything else. President Trump just dropped the hammer that snapped Tehran's spine. The strike package that he froze would have been worse than any attack since World War II. Then the mullah's regime called and begged, please don't attack, we'll make a deal. Now the whole region is lining up on America's terms. Now the story turns on one stake only, whether the United States gets ruled by strength or sabotage from inside by leakers and weaklings who tip off an enemy state. Trump built enough fear to make Iran blink, while CENTCOM enforced the choke point with 44 commercial vessels redirected to, disabled, and boarded. Then, some sleazebag inside the machine leaked strike details to the same regime that Trump cornered. And that's not gossip. That's sabotage against an American war posture. At the exact moment, Trump had Tehran on its knees. And when Trump has the Strait of Hormuz locked down and the whole region scrambling, I think about energy at the most basic level inside the body. I dug into that with Jonathan Otto, and the big point stuck. Mitochondria as cellular batteries. And that's why this is a well-researched tool. Not a gimmick. Red light therapy is a well-researched tool because red and near-infrared light therapy support cellular batteries, help create more cellular energy, reduce stress at the cellular level, and support natural repair process. I use red light because it's built to actually work with 9 clinically studied wavelengths, dual chip technology, and twice the power in a standard device. Comparison for stronger daily performance. Go to myredlight.com/NNN. Use NNNREP25 for individual items or NNNREP30 for bundles. Stock is limited. Strength works from your cells to the straight. And here's the detail the regime media can't spin away. Trump said Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar all called as the strike window closed. When allies rush the line because they know American force is real, you're watching Trump run the board. So President Trump, he just Now, we're going to hit Iran so hard, it would have been worse than any attack. Listen.
Off and our airstrikes
No,
back
they're
on.
They're going on right now. It's an amazing thing. We have a little problem with Iran because we have many talks and we'll say we have or we don't have. You know, we're straight about it. But they deny, but they're not denying it now. They just put out a statement not denying it. But for some reason, they, when they're talking, they don't like saying that they're talking. So I say, wait, we're in talks. Big deal, we're in talks. And they'll sometimes deny it, even though they spend hours and hours together talking. No, the talks are going along. We're going to hit them very hard yesterday, very, very hard, harder than any attack. I think I can say, General, from a point of knowledge, any attack since World War II. That's pretty big. Wow. And we were set to go, and they called. And in addition, Saudi Arabia called, and UAE called, Qatar called. Got calls from numerous people. I don't want to use the word begging, but some were, in particular, Iran did not want to be hit. And they said, we want to talk. We want to talk about the Strait, but more importantly, from my standpoint, we want to talk about the denuclearization.
So Trump says Iran blinked when the threat got real. Now Mike Pence, of all people, weighs in with a harder line, urging Trump to finish the job and hit the regime's remaining military targets. And I don't believe there's a fly on his head here.
Respond quickly. I want to ask you about Iran. Yeah. We had a Fox poll that came out about 2 weeks ago. We asked the question on the ultimate outcome with Iran, the U.S. will reach what? Good deal, bad deal, or no deal? And 48% said no deal. What's your view?
Well, I have more confidence in President Trump than that. And I think the Iranians should be very wary in this moment. Look, I strongly supported the president's decision to use military force last year and this year, striking Iran really for the first time in 47 years after they've waged a continuous war against the United States and the West all those years. But honestly, I think the president, after that first month where our military did a brilliant job taking down 13,000 military sites, I think the president has tried to create room for diplomacy. He's done that again over this weekend, even as we were marshaling military assets across the region. But I honestly think that the time has come for the president of the United States to unleash the armed forces of the United States, strike the remaining nuclear facilities in Iran, take down and degrade their ability to project force, not only in the Strait, but across the region. Look, one does not make peace with one's enemy. One makes peace with one's defeated enemy. And given their posture and their attitudes and even denying that negotiations are happening,
Wow. Mike Pence is calling for force, not more delay. Next, Trump explains why that strike was paused, saying Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar, even Iran pushed for a last-second hold. This is Air Force One.
Asked by Saudi Arabia, by UAE, by Qatar, and by Iran. We were all set to go just about at this time right now, and it would have been a massive attack. We were all set to go, but when the allies asked to call it off, you got to sort of say, well, let's see. And the reason they asked is I think there's a deal. There's a deal on Hormuz, and then there will be a deal on the nuclear, or you might call it the denuclearization of Iran. I call it the denuclearization of Iran. So we're holding it. We'll just see. We can do it anytime we want. But we were asked by the three primary groups. We were also asked by Iran, very strongly, actually. They said, we'd like to make a deal. Now, I don't know what they say, because a lot of times they'll say that to me, and then they'll go out and say, we don't know what he's talking about. Obviously, they don't want to be attacked. And they knew the extent of the attack because they saw it forming.
So Trump says the attack was loaded and ready, but allies in Tehran wanted a deal next. He says Washington has a leak problem, too, with strike details spilling out to sleazebag leakers who tipped off the enemy from the Oval Office here.
President, this is at least the fifth time you've turned off airstrikes against Iran since April to negotiate. What is your message to the American people who are wondering what has changed this time? Why should it be any different?
Well, you don't know. I don't know. I think we're going to maybe get something, but I want to give them every last chance before decapitation. Very tough to do what we have planned, still planned. We'll see what happens. But it's a very, very tough thing to do. I think I'm very proud of the fact that I'll give people a chance. This is a big move. To do an attack that big on a country, I'd rather not do it. Now, we've already, through lots of large attacks, but they were normal large. Hopefully they'll come to their senses, because what happened cannot have a nuclear weapon, but hopefully they'll come to their senses. So they called me, and they said, please don't attack, we'll make a deal. That's the real truth, and everyone knows it. And who wouldn't call? And they found out through leaks and sleazebags, a lot of sleazebags, leakers. Leakers should be put in jail. They have to strengthen up the laws for leakers. But in this case, leakers helped, because they said the severity of the attack, and Iran knew it. They knew what was coming. It was going to come last night, and it would have gone on for a long time, and there'd be essentially very little left. There'd be nothing left. And if I'm given a chance to let a lot of people live, I want to give that chance. So I'm under no time constraint. I don't happen to be running, but a lot of very good Republicans are running. And you have a sick ideology taking place right now.
So that's the swamp in action, leaks reaching the enemy while Trump is trying to force a surrender. Next, he makes clear the talks are still happening and says this is Iran's last chance to sign.
Talks with Iran now off, and our airstrikes back
they're
on.
They're going on right now. It's an amazing thing. We have a little problem with Iran because we have many talks, and we'll say we have or we don't have. We're straight about it. But they deny, but they're not denying it now. They just put out a statement not denying it. But for some reason, when they're talking, they don't like saying that they're talking. So I say, wait, we're in talks. Big deal, we're in talks. And they'll sometimes deny it, even though they spend hours and hours together talking. No, the talks are going along. We were going to hit them very hard yesterday, very, very hard, harder than any attack. I think I can say, General, from a point of knowledge, any attack since World War II. That's pretty big. And we were set to go, and they called. And in addition, Saudi Arabia called, and UAE called, Qatar called. Got calls from numerous people. I don't want to use the word begging, but some were. In particular, Iran did not want to be hit. And they said, we want to talk. We want to talk about the Strait, but more importantly, from my standpoint, we want to talk about the denuclearization of Iran, because it's what it's all about. This is why I'm doing this. And it should have been done. It's now 50 years. We keep saying 47 years, but 3 years have gone by. But it's for 50 years that other presidents should have been doing or other countries. Didn't have to be us, but other countries. And nobody did it. And it was time, and we hit them hard with the B-2s more than a year ago now. And that knocked out their capability, their potential capability. And we've done a great job. But when we talk, we say we're talking. If we're not talking, when you ask me, no, we're not talking, I'll say it. But we are talking right now. We're talking. And we're talking at the request of Iran, backed by Saudi Arabia, backed by UAE, and backed by Qatar in particular, but others also. Many countries called. The leaders of many are friendly with a lot of them, almost all of them, one way or the other, and they all wanted to give this a last chance. This is a last chance. This is not something that, if it doesn't happen, this is a last chance for them to sign a good document.
So the clock's ticking. Next, he lays out the two-step demand, reopen the Strait, and then move to full denuclearization.
So where are the Iran talks, and what are your requirements
We'll find
right
out
now?
today or tomorrow. I mean, they're going to go quickly, one way or the other. It's not very complex. We're talking about the Strait, the opening of the Strait, having it open literally by tomorrow, completely open. And that's phase one. And phase two is we then will talk about the nuclear capacity, the nuclear, as we've been mentioned. Basically, it's, I think, the denuclearization of Iran has to happen. And that'll be the second phase. But the first phase is the opening of the straits. The second phase will be the denuclearization, and that'll take a little while. But we're very strong on it. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and I have never changed on that. Yeah, please.
So phase one is straight. Phase two, stripping Iran's nuclear capability for good. Next, he says why he's still leaving the door open for one last chance before decapitation.
I think we're going to maybe get something, but I want to give them every last chance before decapitation. Very tough to do what we have planned, still planned. We'll see what happens. But it's a very, very tough thing to do. I think I'm very proud of the fact that I'll give people a chance. This is a big move. To do an attack that big on a country, I'd rather not do it. Now, we've already, through lots of large attacks, but they were normal large. Hopefully they'll come to their senses, because what happened cannot have a nuclear weapon, but hopefully they'll come to their senses. So they called me and they said, please don't attack, we'll make a deal. That's the real truth, and everyone knows it. And who wouldn't call? And they found out through leaks and sleazebags, a lot of sleazebags leaked.
So Trump says Iran blinked when the threat got real. Are we serious? Did this thing reset? Oh boy. One last chance. Okay, here's CENTCOM. U.S. forces continue to strictly enforce the U.S. blockade against Iran as of August 3rd. CENTCOM has redirected 44 commercial vessels, disabled 2, and boarded 2.
Captain, you are requested to alter course to 190. If you do not comply, we will compel compliance with force. This is Warship 45. We will monitor your course for compliance at this time. Warship 45 standing by on 16 out.
Wow. So Donald J. Trump did not chase Iran to the table with another Obama-Biden seminar. He cornered the Mueller regime with a strike so catastrophic, he said it would have been worse than any attack since World War II. The filthiest part came after that. Leakers inside our own system fed Tehran a heads up, and Trump still made them fold. So he just proved in public that peace through strength is not a slogan. It's a weapon. He had the Navy controlling the strait under what he called the wall of steel. He had the region watching. He had Iran dialing in with please don't attack, we'll make a deal. And still, inside the American system, some sleazebag leaker tried to gut our advantage and hand an enemy regime precious time. Prison for the leakers and total pressure on Tehran. No more media fairy tales about diplomacy floating in from nowhere. Trump created diplomacy by putting annihilation on the table first. So drop a comment if you back jail time for anyone who leaks military plans, and share this segment with one person still pretending the mullahs negotiated from strength. So that please don't attack phone call from Tehran's exactly why Inside Feed matters tonight. Text White House to 844-840-4963. Next News Network is credentialed inside the White House, and we push reports pulled straight from the building to your phone nightly before YouTube buries the best parts, before the herd catches up. And if reading the intel is not enough and you want a job in the fight, text SIGNAL to that same number and enlist in the Next News Signal Corps, where real missions, real ranks, and a command center turn viewers into operators. All right, Brian, I think we did it. Okay, so, all right, a couple things I've seen here. Definitely going to need to change the number of the names on my buttons so I can figure out what I'm pressing. I think I'm going to put that backer back on the button box, and so I can actually see these buttons properly. And the red light therapy banner at the top, I'm just talking out loud, so ignore me, Brian. It's missing the /NN after the URL. And I'm not sure if it should say sponsored by Red Light Therapy. Because the company's called Red Life. So we'll have to make a couple tweaks. So guys, thanks for watching tonight. Watching us make the sausage, as they say in the television world. So anyway, we tried our best tonight. We're working through it. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully a little earlier show. I do have some evening obligations that I have commitments to fulfill. Looking at some of these stats tonight. Oh, we have one Twitch viewer. It's probably me. And we have, I did notice that somebody said, Trump Daily Post, what's up? Good to see you. Yeah, sorry. Little technical difficulty tonight. Oh, look at that. We got a super chat for $5. What was I saying? Gladiator arenas for the Lakers. Nice. Over 12,000 on Trump Daily Post, 250 viewers on X, 3 on my personal Facebook page. Yeah, and then we had, this is what's interesting. We had first time we've streamed vertically to YouTube and horizontally to YouTube at the same time. So I did see some of your what's up, Trump Daily Post? I did see some of your comments saying there were 2 chats going on, and that's why there were 2 chats, because we're streaming in 2 locations. We're streaming to YouTube twice. So right now 185 on it says L and P, 185 on one, 124 on the other. Interesting. Okay. Is my Facebook even still playing? I don't even know. Anyway. All right, guys. I love you. It's late here. And we'll be back tomorrow with more. I definitely want this. I'm going to go to layers. Can I even do this live? Go to the chat box. Unlock the chat box. And I'm going to bring it down because I want it to be modular. There we go. There. That's better. Okay, chat box is fixed. And I'm just going to run through these shots real quick here because why not? You guys really want to see how the sausage is made? I'll show you right now. Okay, let me see. There's a couple other things I saw that were a little bit off. Because we laid out this new template, guys, and it took a long time for Brian and I to go through these since we weren't under the same streaming deadlines as we were last week. Okay, this one looks okay. We had some time to reconstruct some things. Okay, so this one's a little off. You can see the pixel differences between the 2 shots. So this is, yeah, this one goes taller, and then when we click back, it changes slightly. And what's the shot? Okay, this one looks good. Then we have this one. Okay, I think I know why my eyes were playing tricks on me here. Okay. It's because the banner at the top is slightly different in some of these scenes, so it was squishing into the pixels. Okay. And this guy over here, you camera, jumping off, looking at the mullah over there. I saw what you did. Okay, guys, I love you. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless you. See you tomorrow.